Gotta get everybody back in order here. Well, happy Pride from your space ace here. So, I just got out of a session with Laura, and I've made quite a bit of progress with the suicidal ideation. I've had a zero of it in the past several days. And it's because I've been reframing it, because feeling trapped is what triggers it. And I've been reframing it to I'm not trapped, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for my dad to be placed in a facility, because that's the inevitable outcome for him is he's going to go into a facility. And while we're working on that, we're also going to be, me and Marcy are going to be working on the house, cleaning out stuff, probably have a garage sale of some kind. But anyway, I've got to work on my self-care and on being more assertive. And last week I really had to practice being assertive because my dad's getting a bit ridiculous with his lunch requests, and I had to basically put a stop to it. Excuse me, I'm getting hiccups. Okay, if I hiccup, I apologize. But his lunch, he was wanting me to make him a sandwich, fix him a hot dog on a bun with mayonnaise and ketchup, but the hot dog has to be like scalding hot. He'd want his banana. He would want his like little fruit pie thing that comes in a little bag, and then he'd want his soda. Right now it's a Pepsi. And lunch went from taking about 3 minutes to make to ballooned up to 20 minutes to make. And my energy is very depleted right now, and it's the grief from my mom because it wasn't like this before she died. And I'm handling a lot of difficult things by myself. And Laura told me to remind myself, even though it's hard, you're handling it. So this is me, saying I'm handling it. Happy flap for that. Yes, if you haven't noticed, I'm autistic. For anybody new here, I'm autistic. So, happy flap. So, my dad was wanting all of this 20-minute lunch prep. And most of last week, up until Friday, I would have no energy to then feed myself. So, I would eat nothing from breakfast to dinner. And I would just be lethargic and starving hungry because I wasn't eating enough. And when my mom was alive and healthy, and I was like that, because my dad had upset me, or I was just having a really bad depression episode, pre-meds, she would go into the fridge and she would get me like a fruit cup or an applesauce. Or she'd make me a sandwich and be like, here, honey, eat something. Because she knew that I just didn't have the energy to do it myself. And so she would just take that step for me. And now my mom isn't here to do that. I'm getting emotional. My mom isn't here to do that, and it makes me really, really, really miss her. And I really miss her because I don't have the energy to just go the extra step to open the fridge and take something out and eat it, or prepare it and eat it. And she would take that step for me, and now she's not here to do that. And I kind of starved for a week. Not because I have an eating disorder. I was upset at the fact that I wasn't eating, and I wanted to, but I just did not have the energy to make my dad's lunch and then go in one more time to get myself something. So I would just feed him and then just go lay down. and cry on my bed. But Friday, I finally had to put my foot down, like Godzilla, just put my foot down like a stomp on someone's car and be like, Dad, I can do the sandwich or the hot dog and a pie and a banana and a soda, but I can't do that whole shebang. I can't keep doing that. It's got to be one or the other. And he got mad, as he always does. But he's like, fine, pick one and give it to me. And of course, anytime whatever I'd pick for him, either sandwich or hot dog, it would always be the wrong thing. But he can go fuck himself. I don't care. But I'm not going to expend all this energy going out of my way for him when he doesn't even really appreciate it. And I'm not going to make him appreciate it by going above and beyond. He's expecting the kind of care that Mom gave him out of me. And I just can't do that. I'm dealing with grief right now, and it's heavy. And it's taking all of my energy just to get through every single day. And he is a huge energy drain. And I let Laura know about all this, and she's like, oh, absolutely, you have to conserve your energy. You have to take care of yourself, and you need to eat. You need to make sure that you eat. And I'm like, oh, yes, I know. I'm in trouble with myself for not eating, because now it's like all I want to do is eat because I'm hungry hippo. Remember that game, Hungry Hippo, where you just be like, bah, 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 bah. And the hippo would be like grabbing, off the board. But yeah, so I have been eating again. So I have been taking care of myself. It's kind of enforced self-care because I don't want to repeat of last week. And I'm also premenstrual, so I'm having even more of an appetite because I always get really, really hungry when my period is coming. So I feel like the timing of this is good in the sense of it's forcing me to have to eat, because otherwise I'm just miserable and crabby and pissed off at the world, even more than usual. But I'm really proud of the progress with the suicidal ideation and being able to reframe that now, because I just needed the right reframe, and now I have it because I can see an end in sight for all of this. With my dad going into a facility, because we're getting the wheels moving to start towards that direction. So my sister's making phone calls and all of that. And I just have to remember that I have to take care of me too. Even though my dad needs a lot, that it's okay for me to just turn off when we have the help in here, whether it's, our IHSS worker Tommy, or if it's Marcy, doing her part over the weekend. So I just got to keep reminding myself that I need to keep up with the self-care, because when I neglect myself, everything suffers. Because you got to remember, my dad is bedbound, disabled with advanced Parkinson's. He can't just get up and go to the fridge and make a sandwich or, pull out a pie or whatever. He can't do that. He can't even open a soda can by himself. He can't take a dump without help. And if he has his PureWick catheter off, which we do take it off during the day so that he can air out and so he doesn't get a UTI, because he's prone to those and those really mess him up. He needs help to pee. He needs help with every bodily function. The only thing he can really do for himself is operate his TV and play video poker on his iPad. Those are the only two things he can do on his own. Everything else needs someone else to do. And it's exhausting. And he's 6'5", so he's a huge man. So, if he has to poop, I can't get him up. He has to wait until someone's here to help. So, can you imagine how restricting that is? And how hard that is? Because, I'm not negating how hard it is for him. But the fact that he was emotionally abusive to me my whole life, and continues to be even now, is very draining to deal with him. And I wanted to be someone else's responsibility, because this is killing me slowly. Same way it killed Mom slowly. And I think Marcy is starting to see the damage too. Because even she'll admit that, God, this is so draining. And I'm like, welcome to my world. So, I just hope that once he is no longer my responsibility and I can be free from him, that I can start to heal the wounds that he caused. I can't make peace with the demon that created those wounds until I can get away from the demon that has caused them. And then maybe I can start to look inward and figure out what can I forgive and what do I just have to accept that there will be no resolution. It's a lot of work. Healing from trauma is a lot of fucking hard work. And it sucks. Trauma recovery sucks. Because you do all the work while the people who hurt you just continue on with their lives. They don't have to change anything. They get to continue being assholes. But you're better than them because you're doing the work. Always remember that. You are better than the assholes because you're doing the work to be better. Never ever forget that, okay? Everyone right now who's going through trauma, who's working on their trauma, or who's just trying to survive their trauma until they can work on it, just know that by wanting to be better, you're already better than those pieces of shit who hurt you. And you never deserved to be hurt. You never deserved it. What they did was unconscionably disgusting. Whatever the kind of abuse was, it was disgusting. And you're better than them. Because you're not like them. Don't become them. Every time you see a tendency that's one of theirs, you just kind of go, ew, and change it. And it's hard. Habits are hard. But habits can break. Okay? I love you guys.